Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for clicking on the Monday Afternoon Weather Webcast for November 17th, 2014. I'm meteorologist Nate Harrington. A bumpy ride this morning. Some severe weather in the Wiregrass and in the tri-state area. This morning we stayed clear of some of the more severe stuff that was down in the Florida Panhandle, but we did have some pretty nasty weather rock through here, and now we've got some bitter cold moving in. We'll talk all about it here in just 1 second. So here's the couple of lines of storms that moved in. We had one initial wave right around 4 a.m. It kind of came before the main line of storms did, and that did some of the damage and produced some of the tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings we saw early. Then the secondary line came, not as powerful, but it had a lot of that cold air right behind it, and we've already started to see temperatures take a nosedive. So let's talk about some of the areas that picked up some damage. You see a handful of tornado reports. Those are the red icons there with the tornado graphic there in the middle. You also have some wind reports from thunderstorm wind damage. We'll go ahead and show you the really the only one kind of in our area was in Grand Ridge in Jackson County. 3 mobile homes were damaged from a tornado, not destroyed, just damaged. So most likely this was on the scale of an EF0 or an EF1 tornado. You had a couple of more tornado reports, one in Gaston County, one in Calhoun County. The one in Calhoun County actually did some pretty extensive damage to the correctional facility there. You also had a tornado report in Bay County as well. And the severe thunderstorm report that we had in Houston County and near Cottonwood, that was around 7:30 this morning, a power line down. That was the only thing we saw here in Houston County, and really most of the other parts of the Wiregrass were relatively unscathed. Bonifay down in Holmes County, they saw some reports of trees down at Highway 79 and 280, but other than that, we relatively came out of this unscathed for the most part. So that's some good news there. Most of the heavier stuff was down in the Florida Panhandle. And the other part of this cold front that moved through is the lots of cold air that has already moved in. 44 now in Troy. Temperatures have decreased from their levels early this morning in the 60s, now in the 40s for almost everybody in southeast Alabama and southwest Georgia. They're still in the 50s. The cold front quite hasn't made it through there yet. The cold punch, I should say, in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, all that cold air will be mixing down. Winds are very gusty out of the northwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour in some of the strongest locations, and this wind will keep up. So wind chills will be a factor for tonight and tomorrow morning, and the wind will finally start to die down by tomorrow afternoon. But the feels like temperature right now, it feels like 36 with that wind in Troy. It feels like the low 40s now in places like Enterprise, Ozark, and Dothan. And you have to have a temperature at or below 50 degrees to have a wind chill. So no wind chill right now for folks in the Florida Panhandle for the most part and southwest Georgia. All right, so let's take a look at where the front is now. All the nasty weather now in northeast Florida and basically right near the I-4 corridor, about to get into the I-4 corridor. And this still has a lot of nasty weather with it. Tornado watch is still up for parts of the peninsula of Florida too. And we'll see steady clearing throughout most of the rest of the day, and there's a lot of cold air behind it. Temperatures well into the low 30s, 31 in Nashville, 38 in Little Rock, 39 right now in Birmingham, and this cold pool is much colder than the one that we had last weekend, Friday and Saturday. I think temperatures will be well below that. And future temperature graphic for you, there you see it, temperatures well into the 20s tomorrow morning, and I think this is a little conservative too. I'm going to predict or forecast 27 for Dothan early tomorrow morning, and that's not even the coldest air. By the time we get to Wednesday morning, I think it'll be even colder. You see Tuesday afternoon highs mid-40s, and that will be about it. Even with all the sunshine we're going to have, only mid-40s. And this is the main crux of why it's going to feel so cold. The feels like temperature, the wind chill early tomorrow morning will be close to the teens. You see by tonight it'll be in the 30s and 20s. And then tomorrow morning, right around 5, 6 o'clock, the winds will still be out of the northwest around 10 miles an hour, and we'll have temperatures well into the 20s. And I think probably the teens, the wind chills will be in the teens early tomorrow. So please protect yourself, your kids as they're going out to school. It is going to be bone-chilling cold early tomorrow with that wind. And it doesn't really get that much better. The winds will still be up tomorrow afternoon, so it will feel more like the 30s, even though we'll have actual air temperatures in the 40s. And then once the wind dies down, that will allow maximum cooling. When you have the wind blowing, it doesn't really get as cold as it could if the wind was still, and that's what we're going to have for Wednesday. This cold air mass will sit right on top of us. The winds will go light, and that's going to allow temperatures to dip well below where we will be for tomorrow morning, for Wednesday. I think record-breaking numbers are possible on Wednesday morning. The record low for Dothan is 24. I think we could be at 1 or 2 degrees colder than that to start our day on Wednesday. So we'll have to wait and see. But a cold, cold stretch coming for us Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings, all forecast to be in the 20s. So please protect yourself. You're going to have to drip those outdoor pipes coming up on Wednesday morning. It will be cold enough for that, for sure. And also protect your pets and make sure your plants are also covered up. All those 4 Ps. Make sure people are warm too. So the 4 Ps: pets, pipes, plants, and people. Make sure all those are warm and protected for the next few mornings. We'll have more details tonight on the 5-day forecast coming up on News 4 at 5, 6, and 10. Also WRGX News at 5:30 and CW Primetime News at 9. And more cold there. The cold will be the story here this week. And we'll see you back here for the Afternoon Weather Webcast on Tuesday.